Okay, and we are live from IFS World Conference. My name is Alan O'Neill, and you're watching WebQuarters TV with my friend and colleague, Mr. Gary Cockayne from IFS. Gary, welcome to WebQuarters TV.
Thank you, Alan. Great to be here. Absolutely loving the event, loving being in Boston. Wonderful, wonderful few days.
Good. Gary, would you do me a favor? Just talk into this mic like you're about to give it a little love, a little... Almost.
How's that?
That's much better.
I got it. One,
Thank
two.
That's it. Okay, this is definitely going to be a fun podcast. Gary, you and I have known each other for...
It's a few years, Alan.
It's a good few years.
Since the first time our paths crossed, yeah.
But we have been fortuitously launched into this working relationship where you are now the head of global alliances for UK. I'm sorry, head of UK alliances. What's your title, Gary?
Yeah, head of UK channels.
UK channels.
Yeah. So all the indirect business.
Yes.
Through our partner community, all of that revenue is my remit.
Yeah, very good. And I've got to get the WoCo question out of the way. How are you feeling about Boston, the World Conference? I understand you broke some records in terms of the most successful attendance out of all partner managers around the world. So congratulations to you on that. But how are you finding it?
Yeah, well, it's a marriage made in heaven for me, Alan, because I love Boston. It's a city I know well. It's a great place to be.
Yes.
So that as a cornerstone of the whole event was brilliant. So building on top of that, the event itself is a great success. It's well populated with a great mix of end users and partners.
Yes.
And staff from IFS, and together it's all about delighting the customers.
Well, I think no truer word is spoken. I've listened to most of the speakers over the past couple of days. There is a real customer focus, and I emphasize the word real because, quite frankly, every other presentation is all about not software or services, but the best outcomes, and not just for our customers, but for our customers. I think Linda's speech this morning actually echoed that. We're not selling software. I think that's 80s and 90s stuff, Gary, isn't it?
It is.
In terms of selling software.
It really
Would you agree with that?
I would totally agree with that. You know, nobody wakes up one morning and says, today's the day that I'm going to spend a whole load of money on software. That doesn't happen very often. The reality is customers and prospects have business needs, and we need to help them do something that will help them accelerate and achieve that objective as quickly as possible.
I have to say, I hope you don't blush, but since you have been taking care of WebQuarters and you've been assigned our partner manager, the support that you give our organisation is off the chart, and
Thank you, Alan.
And we're very, very pleased with the relationship we have with you and the team, Gary. We can't thank you enough for all you do. And,
thank you, Alan.
And you do a great deal for us, so thank you for that. I want to ask you some questions about WebQuarters TV. I told you 3 or 4 months ago that we were working on this, and the idea of WebQuarters TV is to touch the IFS ecosystem and those markets and ecosystems that we're targeting. We are making no secrets. There's many software vendors out there today whose customers are interested in finding something more appropriate. We have the best software in the world. We have the happiest customers in the world.
Yep.
We also have the largest and fastest growing partner ecosystem, and some would argue the safest implementation methodology. The question I have for you, how have you been able to transition from your previous software vendor and cope with this meteoric rise and success that is IFS today, Gary?
Yeah, it's a good point, Alan. So you know my background, and there's been a couple of roles there in previous enterprise software companies with longevity in both of them. And what persuaded me to leave and join IFS was the fact that we had this radical approach to winning new business and delighting our existing customers.
Yes.
And for me, the critical point of that, absolutely endorsed and adopted totally by WebQuarters, is this approach to how we do things. The digital economy is here. It's not a plan. It's not a strategy. It's here. It's here right now. And I'm delighted, Alan, with the way that you and your company have just embraced the fantastic opportunity that is, and all that you do, and your route to market and your route to identifying prospects and post-sale working with them using all the media that you have access to is just role model behaviour.
Well, thank you very much, Gary. I think the driver behind WebQuarters TV for us, too many times we sit in front of C-suite executives who are probably a little concerned about their lack of knowledge in areas that they possibly should understand better than they do. So we go and see, and I'm sure you find this, organizations who talk about blockchain, who talk about AI, who talk about digital twins, etc.
Yeah.
And people are on the periphery. They touch on these subject matters because they don't understand the detail. And I actually wanted to have a go-to channel that we could interpret innovation, not in tech speak or complex language, but a language that actually made sense to the CEO, the CFO, and the CIO. And WebQuarters TV is designed to do just that. So I hope this helps the IFS ecosystem answer their questions. And I was wondering, Gary, would you be able to come and do more sessions with us up in our new offices at Eden Point and add some?
I'd love to, Alan.
Would you?
Yes, I really would love to. I absolutely remain convinced that we're on the right track.
Yes.
I think it's a bumpy journey initially because it's all new.
Yes.
But you're pioneering the way there, Alan. And WebQuarters in the medium term, I have no doubt, will continue to accelerate and thrive and be a continual critical part of our mutual success. And
yeah.
You're on a roll, Alan, you know that.
Well, Gary.
And you have our total support. Just back to the previous interview you did today, Alan, with Darren Roos, our chief exec. I mean, it's just great, to be honest, to be part of an organisation growing rapidly, making a difference, challenging the norm. It really, really is an exciting time, and I am just so pleased to be here with you and your team, Alan.
Thank you, Gary. I was actually, before we went on air, I said to Darren, you're going to be uncomfortable for a little bit of this because I am going to talk about your success. Too often Darren puts the success, rightly so, to his team, to his partners, to the customers, etc. But, 119% increase
it's mad.
in sale, and 85% increase in EBITDA. It is off the chart. What Darren is doing with his leadership with his leadership, and we're very proud to be part of IFS, and we're very proud to have you with us. Is there anything you would like to say to the IFS ecosystem, to the WebQuarters customers around the world? Is there any messages you might want to share before we call it a day on this podcast?
Alan, I don't want to repeat myself. My summary of the total event is it's a great event for end users and partners to establish how they work with us moving forward. It's all about looking forward. We're not spending any time looking in the rearview mirror. It really is all about the forward plan and building on those cornerstones that are in place right now.
Fabulous.
Thank you so much, Alan.
Of course, just one point before we leave. The entertainment's not too shabby either.
Entertainment
who's
tonight.
Who's entertaining us this evening?
Tonight. My son's very excited for me. He was also excited about the skateboard star that we had lunchtime.
Yes.
What was his name,
Mr.
Alan?
Hawks.
Yeah, Hawks.
Tony Hawks.
Yeah, Tony Hawks. So, not a name, to be honest, I'm familiar with, but son and daughter are pleased for me that I'm able to enjoy their company in this great location.
Lewis Capaldi, I think, if I'm not mistaken, had 300 million downloads. It's an internet sensation, and so he's entertaining the IFS team at the IFS World Conference here in Boston 2019. Gary Cockayne, an absolute pleasure. We love you lots at WebQuarters. Thank you very much, my
Thank
friend.
you, Alan. Cheers. Thanks,
Great
Alan.
to see you.
You too.
Thank you.